timeline and some key features of my company, and I will try to keep this short. Yeah. So basically, we started like 4 guys from this very university. They were on their final year of college, and they got together and tried to make something. So they tried a couple of ideas, like I don't know, some keychain, trying to find your mobile phone. Then they realized, okay, that doesn't work because by the time we get our product done, like 5 other companies are already making it. So they actually bought like a cheap barrier and tried to do something with it. So it's not this barrier. This is good one. So basically, what they did, they actually used their mobile app to control your parking product. So this small barrier. And when they bought that cheap barrier, they presented it at the some fair here in Split, and people were interested. So they thought, okay, so this is something we can work on. So basically, they started with that, and later on they had their own production. So this is Croatian-made parking barrier, and also they developed from the like a small startup company to full-scale company with a lot of products in their like the whole range of products. Yeah, so for parking, of course. So basically, it all started when they got their seed investment, and later on they've got like a plan, like a round investment for like 5 million euros, and that was boom. So that is when company is like made for real, and they worked with that money and tried to get as many people as they can that are good and they have their own qualities. So now you have a whole a lot of departments in Parklio doing their stuff. So basically, we are now a company of I think 25 people because we are distributed on like production and the like office part. So I'm gonna go from here to. So why did it all start? Because they thought, okay, so people have a lot of problems in traffic and a lot of problems finding a parking space, and also trying to get a parking place protected. You are all familiar with situations when somebody goes in front of your house and just park their car and be cheeky about it. So basically, they thought, okay, so you have like 21 minutes per average to find your parking space. So that is a problem. Also, problem is that 30% of all traffic that is made because people are trying to find their parking space. So they made this barrier in a way that it could solve all those problems. So of course, you cannot use just one product to solve all parking products, but they try to comprehend as much as they can with this one. So what they did, they physically prevented people, of course, to park, and also they used this barrier in a way that you can use your mobile phone and not to get out of your car and just click on it, just click on the app, which is free, by the way, and so barrier goes down. So you don't have to leave your car, you don't have to go on the rain and try to manually put it down. You can just do it from your car. So okay, that's one good feature, but what can we do more? So they thought, okay, maybe I have family visiting. So how can I access them to park on my space? And they thought, okay, so maybe we can share digital keys. So basically, what you do, you just send a family member or your friend or whoever you want, just send them a link. They download your app, and you just can give them permission to park on your space, and you can also time limit it. So that was the idea, and later on they thought, okay, so now we have that. We can now go on a reservation system maybe. So we developed API system that can be integrated in a huge variety of parking products, like parking management systems or booking reservations, or for huge companies that do parking in front of airports or something like that. So basically now you have a reliable product that can have a huge scalability, and also has some cool features that other products don't have. So also I will just demonstrate you how this thing works. So I didn't brought this here just to look at it, and I will try to connect it. Okay, so it's this simple. Just it's fairly fast, and just you go to your app, just click on the button, and you can lower it or extend it up. Also, you have a share key button, which is really simple. Just click on it. You enter somebody else's email address and just send a link from where they can download the app and use it for your parking. So you are probably guessing by now that you can use it, like hotels can use it. So if you have a guest coming to hotel, you can send them a link via a system that you already have. So you have system that gives them a greeting email, and then you have okay, so your room is reserved from 8 to, I don't know, 11, and also you have a parking space reserved also for that time. So you have time frames for parking also. So the same guest cannot go back and reuse your product. Okay. So we are very proud because the whole barrier is assembled here in Croatia, and we use you see this part that goes up. We call that wing, and it's also made in Croatia. So it's fairly rugged, and I will give it to you so you can kick it later if you want. Just to check it. It's really robust because it can take force up to 4,000 newtons in horizontal way, of course. But sometimes people don't drive very carefully and they still go into barrier. That's why we have safety pin, so you don't damage your car or the barrier. And the safety pin goes it breaks and barrier goes down. So, but it's still very robust because I cannot break it with just kicking it. So it's vandal proof. And of course, we have a lot of other products as well. So it's not just it all started from this small barrier, but we also have gates, chains, pylons that go through from the floor up, and also some products that are software, hardware related. So I will just give you an example. We have a camera that has a system that is similar to face recognition, but it recognizes free parking spaces. So basically you have like system that can overlook on your parking and give you real-time info about what is going on, and also you can use that to display how many free spaces are there, and also at what sectors. So if you try to keep in mind, we have like 40, we have our products in 40 countries and more. And it's not like a Split problem with parking. Split has small parkings and it has a lot of parking problems, but try to think big, try to think parkings in front of Frankfurt airport, which is like, I don't know if you can even see the end of it. So it's a good idea to have like signs that where display terminals that can show people where they can go and park their car. So also Barrier has its own module that can direct you, like for GPS, that can direct you where to go to park. I'm already into this slide. It's like smart city solutions, because cities are today crowded and traffic is a big problem for them. And like we saw earlier, like 30% of traffic problems is caused because people are trying to find their parking space. They go around their buildings just trying to find it, and that way the congestion is made. So we are trying to solve that global problem with our Barrier. Of course, there are also other products, like I mentioned. So one of them is that camera, and the other one, for example, is like IMPR camera that can let you in. So you can, like, it's for the gates. The gates are different from the Barrier, and the gates are like ramps, if you know what I mean. And so basically, it can whitelist your license plates. I think you already saw a lot of those solutions. And what you can do is allow somebody to go in and out without any disturbances, and also you can use it for payment. So basically, you can measure when somebody was in the parking lot and for how long, and when they go out, they pay, and they pay through contactless, either through the app or using a card on the terminal. And this is the whole variety of our products, and I'm gonna just go through it. Yeah. Yeah, this is just 2 slides more, and this is it. Yeah, so basically these are the products we had, and this is just for today. We are developing more of them, and we are trying to be the whole parking solution for everything. So basically that's it. Parking management, I'm not gonna walk you through that. It's basically the stuff that I was talking about. So you can whitelist license plate, you can restrict somebody's access, and those sort of stuff. This is our business model. So we sell hardware, we are licensing software, and also we have shared revenue business model. And that's probably it. I think we are done. Yeah. You can kick it later.
So any 3 questions, or we can switch to another presentation.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is there a way, security system? Let's say that the barrier is already laid down, and you have your car. If you by mistake click on open, it will rise up.
Yeah, good question. It has sensors. So it senses car on top, and it won't extend. Yeah.
One rise if your car is overheated.
Sorry, didn't hear.
One rise if your car is overheated.
Yeah. If your car is already on it, it won't go up, and when you leave the barrier, it will automatically go up because it says that car is not on top. So you cannot forget to extend it back. I'm not sure. Because I think that sensors are like we use magnetic and yeah, and
For instance, if there is something overheated which is not your car, maybe a bag or some leaves.
yeah, of course.
Prices.
Yeah, leaves not because it's not maybe yeah. If you have a lot of leaves on it, yeah, then it won't go back up. But idea is that car was already on top of it, so leaves shouldn't be that problem. If wind blows them below the car, it's not that big amount of leaves, so it's not a problem. But if you leave your bag on it, of course you block the sensor, and the sensor will not know if it is car or
There is also an optical sensor.
what.
There is also an optical sensor in addition to the magnetic one. There is also an optical one.
We have like I think we have two types of sensors, but these are questions for R&D department, not for me. But okay, it's a good question, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, because a lot of components are there, and I don't know all of them.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
can continue questions in the exhibition session that far. So thank you once again.
Yeah.
So we can switch to another page.
Čekaj, pa nećemo biti pizde. Bravo.
Ne moram pustiti video, moram doći tu, jel?
Ne, imam ti hook.
Ne, ali YouTube je, moram ono kliknuti play, pa ću
vjerojatno.
doći na miš, vjerojatno.
Vjerojatno, it's okay. Da te zategnem, ja me za to dobro.
Okay, hi to everyone. Before I start, this is your accommodation on Vol, so Petar, this is what you reserved for the guys who are going to Vol. Okay, my name is Ivan Periš and I work as business development in SpliTech Group, and what I will present to you today is something that we presented 3 years ago, I can't recall, when we started. Now we have a finished product, and I will present something which is energy management based and is really actual today when we have utilities going up, and this is something that can be very interesting to all of you. Okay, so SpliTech is a group of companies based in, let's say, ex-Yugoslavia, but together with partners, we are covering all these countries here. We started in '89, and so far we have like more than 120 employees. SpliTech has its own R&D, so we are producing hardware and software for our solutions, and together with our partners, we are expanding portfolio, so we are covering a wide range of, let's say, industries like supply chain management industry, hospitality industry, workforce management. So we are covering a lot of industries, which is good for us because in this, let's say, crisis years, some industries go up, others go down. So we always remain stable. These are some of our, let's say, companies that work with us. I assume that a lot of them you will know. Some of them are hospitality based, others are workforce management, maybe supply chain. But here are some numbers. So we did like more than 500 hospitality and 3,000 of various installations worldwide. Our softwares are being produced, I think, in 20 languages, and we have more than 40 countries of installations so far. This is our hardware, all of this on this picture. So what we do, we produce our own hardware and software for access control systems. and for time and attendance system. So on the top, those are our controllers. I have one on the table here if someone wants to check later. And those are our time and attendance terminals. And as said, we have like 1 million users daily on this system only. Time and space is our on-premise software, and below are our cloud solutions, which we started, let's say, developing maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And on the next slide, I will present to you access control cloud solution through a short video which I have. So this is something we presented 2 years ago here on the same conference, and now we have it like a finished product. Even in Split, we have some big installations. So I will just play a short video for you to see it. Hope it will work. No, it's not working. Yeah, it's a YouTube link, so probably it won't load. But if Tibor is not here, I will just walk you through it. So what we did is we created a cloud-based solution where our own controller. Okay, if you can help, if not, I will. Because video is like 40 seconds, so it's a YouTube link, so should be able to try to click now. No, I enable it, but it's not working.
How do I enable it? Yes, it's closed.
Kad sam ja čitao prezentaciju, sam enable da može YouTube, ali sad neće, da.
A izgleda, ja me ovo tretira samo kao sliku.
Nema veze.
Da, sorry.
Let's go back. Okay, I will just walk you through it. So we have a cloud solution where we connect our controllers to our cloud dashboard on Microsoft Azure, and we have surroundings for each company which work with us. The good thing is that with this you can use your mobile to open the doors based on location services. So if you are close to a door, the system aligns the first closest door to you, even if we are in a big building like this college here. So if you are closest to that door will be the first one on your list, no matter which floor you are on. The mobile GPS services works pretty well. And it will say to you, you have 5 meters to door, press and you can open. If you are outside of this perimeter, we can set you not to be able to open it. But the idea behind is to remove the readers, which easiest the maintenance for the customer. You can combine readers and readerless access. But for us, I think we were among the first ones on the market with this solution. And as said, our biggest installations currently are just here in Split on the campus. Yeah. So I will move on to the next solution, where I also have a video, but I will again walk you through it. So it's a cloud-based energy management system which we use in hotels. I have a small demo here, I can show it to you later. So as you know, the utilities are going up. In Croatia, it's 2.5 times for companies. Once you have your contract ending, your electricity bill will be 2.5 times bigger than it was. I think this happens to entire Europe, not only for us. So this solution is a worldwide known, and it's actually SpliTech does it together with a partner which is called Intra. They are based in Dubai. So what is the idea? The idea behind is that we, as a company, we are deploying the so-called smart rooms or guest room management systems in hotels in our region, meaning that you can control everything is automated. But these systems are usually quite expensive for a customer. They have short ROI, which is good, but it's hard to implement them in existing properties. So what we realized is that we have 10 to 1, I think even more in Croatia, because we have a lot of old hotels. So 10 old hotels on one new build, meaning that you have 10 hotels where you cannot offer anything, because if you want to install this system, which is full scale, you need to do all kinds of new cable, conduct new cables, install the servers, and this is impossible without ongoing the full refurbishment. And for hotels, that's a decision maker, because they are not ready to invest that big amount of money to be able to save some energy in after that, because the amount spent will be too big. So what we did and what we have now is so-called EOS thermostat, which is cloud-based solution, 2-in-1, ideal for retrofit, and it's very, very new. So this product is deployed from Q1 this year, and we already have a first installation. It's unfortunately in Germany, not here, but it's a 5-star property there. So what you need to do, you take this thermostat which is used for HVAC control, and you just dismount it and mount new one, and you're finished. So you don't have any new cables, you don't have any new conducting, you don't have any new server machines. The device uses Wi-Fi, the hotel one. Hotels have a good Wi-Fi, trust me. If they don't have a good Wi-Fi, the guest will tell them, and they will have negative booking references, and I don't know, and they will have to invest in Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is always good, but this device uses 50 kilobits per day, so it's not using anything. It just needs to have some connection through gateway to get to cloud. What else? The device saves you the energy because it has a combination of 8 sensors. I have it 6 written here, 2 are not to be said publicly. So pressure sensor, motion sensor, luminosity, acoustic, humidity, and temperature. Combination of these sensors allows you to understand if someone is in your room. So if we have a sensor here, we will know that the room is fully crowded. And if no one is there, we will know that again, and we will push the HVAC to energy saving. So when you speak about hotels and guest room itself, the biggest consumer in the guest room is HVAC, obviously. And then after that, you have lights which are very low, maybe some kitchen appliances, something like this. So HVAC is the main. So using Wi-Fi, you connect to cloud dashboard, and then a hotel itself can control the room and can monitor the room. The good thing behind is that you also have a full IoT hub possibility, because device has a Zigbee and a BLE installed, and then when you mount it somewhere in the rooms, you have a coverage of entire property. So if you have some sort of system or solution which is hospitality based, and you want to install it in existing property, for you it's impossible because you need to add a network for that solution. And then with this, you just use this device and its network as gateway. So you through this BLE and Zigbee, you get to your cloud, to your anywhere you need to get. The possibilities behind are enormous and really huge ones, and there is a huge list of existing companies which already did integrations. And what hotels get, so in hospitality and in modern hospitality, you cannot use 10 different systems. So to get a good and to reduce your operational cost, you need to have one system working together. So you need to have reservation combined with the payments. You need to have reservation combined with the door lock entry system. So you don't want your staff to learn 10 different systems. Then again, you need to have some background workflow systems, and good hotel, and especially the big chains, like, I don't know, Marriott's, Hilton's, Accors, they know how to do it. So they are combining the systems, and you have a list of systems they always want to have in their own properties. So what's already done? So these systems are really implemented with property management, so each hotel has property management. This is where you reserve your stay. So when you arrive, they scan your passport or something, they enter you here. Workflow management system, building management for controlling the entire building, including the rooms. Voice assistance, like you say, I'm cold, and the system starts heating. Door lock system, you combine the integration through Zigbee or wireless, and you enable a huge amount of capex savings for investors. So the guys from hospitality with some experience will know you save on entire new network because you use this one. So the door lock connects to this thermostat, and it's got its own network. Mobile apps, IPTV, lighting and power. So the possibilities behind, they have no limit. It's up to us and up to hotels in which way they want to go, how much they want to invest, what is the good for them, what they don't need, where are they based. Everything is open on table. So what the device can do? So it's connected to cloud. So you have over-the-air updates. I don't know. We have 8 sensors here. We use only 2 now. And 5 years from now, hotels wants to connect, let's say, window sensor, which they don't have because they need to wire it, which is impossible. They need to crash all the ceilings, and they need to work, which is what they don't want to do. So let's say you have a pressure sensor inside, and then through over-the-air update, we can enable it. And then the system itself will understand, based on the pressure monitoring, is the window open or not. So if you open the window, pressure level will change, and we will know, okay, we need to save the and turn off the HVAC because we don't want it to waste the energy through the windows. So all this interface here already exists and are already being deployed. And as I said, it's really, really free and with open APIs, so anyone can connect to this. What's also good, so it's a global solution, meaning that it fits Europe, fits USA, fits Australia, fits any country. All types of HVAC are supported, because if you don't support some sort of HVAC, you cannot work and you cannot install the system. And this is just like a recap what all we can connect and combine together with the system. Also, we are supporting this Zigbee home automation devices, like monitoring window sensor, panic buttons, door contacts, I don't know. The most of these integrations are done on, let's say, location services. So you know your device is installed in room 505, and then you know if someone is there or is in some other room, and so on. How to commission it? I can show it to you later on this demo. So you use your iPhone. You just what you do is that you prepare entire installation before you're on site, and then you just can give anyone, so it doesn't need to have any experience with the system to commission it. So it just uses a mobile, connects with a BLE, to the nearest thermostat, and enters the room number. Says confirm, that's all. So the system automatically downloads the entire configuration, uploads it to the hardware. It takes 1 minute and you're done. So if you are speaking about this room, for us to finish this room and to automate it, we will take like 10 minutes to dismount this and connect the new wires, so 15, and 5 minutes to commission. So in 20 rooms, we can have this room automated completely here. That's why it's so good for the hotels. And this is video which will not work, and so I will skip it. So that's all. I try to keep it in 10 minutes.
Thank you. So I think we don't have time for questions.
Ćemo izići na stol, a?
Šta?
Ko neko...
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Igor, and I will represent company Rudan from Žminj. So, if anybody hasn't heard about Žminj, it's a small like a village in the center of Istria. So, the company has been founded in 1994 by Mr. Graziano Rudan, and the company has started like just repairing refrigeration systems, and soon after that, in year 2000, the company has started the first ESCO project in Croatia, and at that time the owner didn't know it was an ESCO project. So ESCO, it's like an energy service company. I'm sorry, this presentation is in Croatian, but I will try to be in English. So our main business core are energy management, then research water losses, then energy optimization. Also, I say ESCO business model, and we have our platform for energy management, which is Energo Monitor software. So this is our first passive business passive building in Croatia. It's located in Žminj. So the building has almost low consumption of energy and water. So the building has a photovoltaic system at the roof, and it has like a facade which is energy efficient, more than it was when the building has been started. So it's from 2012. Okay, so our company has been making from 2012 some energy renewals. So also here in Split, there is like two hospitals, hospital in Firula and Križine, which was the first bigger energy renewal projects in Croatia. Also, we have like water leakage research. So we have like this service, which has helped us in our ESCO projects. One of our services is Energo Monitor. So on this picture, it's Energo Monitor panel, which is like it is made for the entrance on some buildings for energy efficiency stuff. Also, okay, energy management. I want to read this. But basically, our energy management, what we do. So with every client, we have a different approach. Basically, it's a unique approach for every client. So we have basically smart metering as a start point, and then we identify our opportunities to save energy and water, and we do something with this. Okay, so this is the start. So our software platform is Energo Monitor. So this is our software platform. So this is like a dashboard on the software platform about energy consumption. So it's all on one place. You can have energy consumption. You can have I don't know. We have alerts for over consumption. Also, we have some smart analysis. So we have like forecasting of the consumption, and also we have integrated the budgeting. So this is one case of water consumption analysis. So it was like the alert for this location was like 3 cubic meters, and this is where the threshold has been overgrown. So there is the point of alert for this location. And because alert comes to the SMS, email, or something else, and the customer or we can make something about this. So I have a demo. So this is like a water leakage for one location. So it's like 45 cubic meters during an hour. So if we calculate this with consumption of water 25 kunas per cubic meter, so it's like you can see this on this graph also. So this is the calculation. So in 5 days there is like 140,000 kunas of expense if you haven't get alert from this water leakage. In 2 weeks there is like 390, and during 1 month it's like 865,000 kunas. So this is our main logo. Okay, what do we do? So we do like energy renewal. We do like consulting clients. Also, we make documentation and designing for some projects. And we do all the area of energetics. And at the end, I would like to just say, so IoT. IoT for us, it's not the goal, just IoT. IoT is an instrument to make savings to our clients. So that's why we do get with IoT, and we probably maybe of the first in Croatia who started with IoT, it was like 2018. So it's like 5 years with IoT. This is it. Thank you. If there is any question.
Ja sam ti sljedeći, ne znam gdje ste stavili prezentaciju. So, like the colleague said, I'm Marko Gojic from IoT Adria. We are a Sigfox operator for Republic of Croatia. I know that the colleagues worked with Sigfox network here on the University of Split, and some of our partners are here, like my colleague from Rudan from last presentation. But I will just briefly inform you about the Sigfox network, about IoT Adria here in Croatia. And for the other details, we have a stand outside and we have a whole afternoon to talk about the technology, and I can show you some examples there. IoT Adria is, as I said, a part of Sigfox network. The Sigfox started almost 10 years ago when, like small startup in France. After a few years there, they had some investments and outgrew to Sigfox Corporation. Their mission was to cover entire world with IoT network, simple IoT network, without any other purpose. And they wanted to have partners in every other country. So their mission wasn't to cover this entire population of the world with IoT network by themselves. They wanted to have in every country a partner like operator, almost like mobile operators here in Croatia and every other country. So we applied for their invite, and with in concurrence with 2 or 3 companies, big companies here in Croatia, we got this. We just as operator, we got here opportunity to cover our country with IoT network. Also, they have this IoT network in 71 countries. or other regions. We have 4 regions, RC1 is for Europe and Middle East, RC2 is for Australia, RC3 is South America, RC4 is, I don't know, North America and Canada. We are working in licensed but free spectrum on 868 megahertz here in Europe, and we have almost 70 million registered devices already. In Croatia, we covered 90% of population and almost 70% of territory. We didn't cover just these mountainous areas here because the wolves doesn't pay subscriptions. So we have almost over 200 base stations here in Croatia. 5 of them are here in Split. For our opportunity now, at most base stations we have installed in Slavonia because there's a biggest project there, maybe over 10,000+ devices on gas metering. In cooperation with HEP-Plin is our biggest company that provides electricity and gas for the clients. Also here in Split we had some pilot projects on water metering, smart city projects, and we have private companies that have their own solutions, software and mobile applications in cooperation with our devices for boats and other sensorics. So, as I said, we have 90% of population here covered. We have a rather scalable network because we can, if you don't have a signal at some point and you have a big project, maybe we can organize in a week or so to cover this area with another base station. We have 3 base stations, 3 different base stations. The biggest one is macro base station, and in ideal situation we can cover with one maybe 50 kilometers of the area. But of course, there is a radio communication. When you go to urban areas, this is not 50 kilometers. This one, I don't know, consumes maybe 30 watts, like spare bulb. And the other one, when we need to cover just one street or something like that, we have another one that covers a little bit more. It has smaller antenna, and this kind of base station is consuming even less. And we have a third one. You can also see it on the stand outside. It's a micro base station that can cover a building of this size if you don't have a coverage by us already. What's the, I don't know, plus points of our network? Energy efficiency. The batteries on the devices are they can have a duration almost in some areas over 10 years. So in gas metering we have devices that are 7 years battery have battery time, and they are all almost in Slavonia we have few of them installed almost 5 years already, and we have real life results for these battery consumptions. Global reach. When you buy subscriptions for Sigfox here in Croatia, all operators in the world are connected with each other. So when you buy from me these subscriptions, your subscription is valid even in a different country. You go to Dubai and your device should work on their network, because we have a backend for Sigfox network that is using by every other operator in the world. So when you have a device with valid subscriptions, it will work in different areas. Okay, maybe when you go to USA, 868 megahertz network is not a free spectrum there. They have 1912 or something like that. But Sigfox producers, like our colleagues from ST microcontrollers, they developed a device that can work on each frequencies, and our base stations have something that is called monarch signal. When a device comes from Croatia to USA, our base station radiates this kind of frequency, and your device knows, okay, I'm not in Europe anymore, I'm going to switch to different frequency. And it's working already like it's used to work. So also, simplicity of the network, you just need to have ID number and PAC number. PAC number is subscription number for every device in Sigfox network. When you have that kind of numbers, and of course subscriptions from us, you can just apply these numbers to our backend, and your device is ready to send. Our devices are sending the messages on 3 times. They're broadcasting the message 3 times in 3 different time periods, divided by 2 seconds, and on 3 different frequencies in this 868 spectrum. We have 2,000 channels, so it's 200 kilohertz wide spectrum. And low cost of subscriptions, low cost of ownership, because you don't need to change the batteries every year or so. Let me tell you just about how low those subscriptions are. Worst case scenario, when you have the biggest subscription rate and you have just one device, so no discounts for multiple devices or something like that, it's 10 years per year per device. So if you have multiple devices, over 1,000 or over 10,000 devices, like our colleagues from gas metering companies, they have subscriptions less than €1.50 per year per device, but they use just 2 messages per day because they are sending every day just consumptions for the last day. And our focus is everything. When you need IoT for something, you can find application on our network. First of our focuses was on utilities. As I said, water metering, gas metering. But a second one was logistics, to track and locate your devices or your, I don't know, property or something like that. And others are like insurance companies, public sector, smart building, smart city, everything you can think of. We are not telling you what to do with our network. We are just a channel. Also, we built here in Croatia an ecosystem of our partners. We just want to be network operator, nothing else. So we have our partners like a colleague from Wood, and they have a software, and they are also hardware designers. Integrators, they have companies like utility companies, when they have their own software from some other company, and Sigfox is easy to integrate inside because it's using HTTPS communication post-REST protocol or something like that, so to connect to your existing network. And we also are the part of one big company here in Croatia. The owner of the IoT Adria is company Comping. They are 30 plus years here in Croatia. They are system integrators for data centers and servers. And they also purchased last year's company that has its own data center. So we are 200 plus people in our group. And we have an entire solution from IoT network to cloud to integrators and IoT company that can provide a solution. But we are not focused just on ourselves. If our client wants to use just our network, it can use just our network and his own software or his own integrators. So also, if you don't have your own hardware, we have a website partner, sigfox.com, when you can search the hardware or development kit or chips if you want to develop your own device, and you can find your solution that fits you best, and you can just write the software. As I told, we have an IoT network that sends messages to our cloud, and on the cloud you can push the messages like callback or through API to your own servers. So we are not storing these messages. This is just a channel to send the messages from our network to our client, and this is working instantaneously. I have a few examples there on a stand, so who's interested, it can be shown in the rest of the day. So that's all from me. Actually, it's not. I forgot to mention how big the message is on Sigfox network. We have uplink messages and downlink. So the communication is two ways on Sigfox network. When you're sending the messages, you have only 12 bytes. Because, as I told, this is just IoT network. You cannot send a video or something like that through this message. But what can you do with 12 bytes? When you have location, GPS location is 6 bytes or 8 bytes, depending it's extended precision or just normal precision. You can send temperature inside 2 bytes. You have velocity for your vehicle in 2 bytes. You can send just 1 bit to just say is it one contact open or closed, or you don't need to send anything. You can send empty message on Sigfox just to have some heartbeat message that can you tell your client or tell your software that the device is live. When you're using downlink, it's even smaller than that. It's 8 bytes, but we are using downlink in this network just to configure this device, to change configuration, calibrate the sensor, or change how often the sensor will send the data. You can set it to send once a day or every 10 minutes. Or maybe you can send, I don't know, entire 140 messages per day in next 10 minutes and shut up to the next of the day. So easy network, easy to configure, small messages, and extended battery life is our pluses. Also we have some minuses, but these things you are going to need to find by yourselves. Thank you, and goodbye.
This is actually working?
Miss, I think so. I dropped it before presentation and
some other places in the world, so we're acting globally because a lot of customers are designing and developing their solutions somewhere in the world, but for example, want to produce in China. So that's where we can also be flexible and provide delivery directly to China from close by. What is RFID and which kind of technology are we offering? So this is quite a good thing to have a look at, because that's what was also inside your credit card in a similar way. It's a way smaller antenna, of course. But what we are doing when we're talking about RFID and RFID relays, it's just a PET substrate with a printed antenna on it. So printed antenna plus a chip, of course, an IC. With an IC on it. But it can be modified in terms of the IC,
which is used in terms of the shape which you need. So there are many different chips on the market, many different providers, and you can more or less create your wish list, and we can then design a product for you. When talking about the product and the materials which are used, there are different materials for the antenna, for example, different conductivities is the result. We have different possibilities regarding the substrate. So here it's PET, but if you want to go for a sustainable solution, there is also the possibility to use paper-based substrates, but also from the process of the antenna, we can switch from an etching process to a laser process, and then we have a super low carbon footprint, which is very important for many people around the world. And we can provide the full spectrum of flexibility in terms of how this antenna should look like. So that's more or less what our offer is. I think for many people from university, it's quite interesting because this IoT technology is relatively cheap in terms of hardware. You do not need any device which needs to be manufactured for you. You just need this inlay, which is converted to a label, so you have more or less a sticker which you can put on every object which you would like to tag. And then this object can interact with your smartphone, for example, because your smartphone is the cheapest RFID reading device which you have. So you can just tap something and then you get the information, for example, if a product is original or if it's fake. You can get information like sensor information, like temperature, like humidity, things like that. So there are many different things possible meanwhile. But let's go on a little bit. To show you the possibility and wide range of state-of-the-art technology in RFID, I prepared this slide because this is what's extra. So I don't want to show you these standard RFID tags, which are on a lot of boxes, a lot of products, just to read out or identify a product. There is much more. For example, we can meanwhile also provide dual frequency tags. Why dual frequency tags? We are not only talking about NFC technology, this is 13.56 megahertz for near field identification by reading by smartphone. There's also the possibility for long range reading with UHF technology. So here we are in the range of 860 to 960 megahertz, and we can read out or identify objects with a passive tag over up to 20 meters, for example. This is used, you all know it, in logistics, for example, but also when you're going to your retailer, to H&M, Zara, whatever, where you go out of the building and there are those two gates, so like these boxes here on the left and on the right, and you pass through this gate, then it reads out which item just passed through and it identifies if it was paid or not, and then there's the alarm. We all know this. But it's the possibility to combine this near field and the long range application, so you can access the same memory of the chip with both reading technologies. I already named the eco-friendly version of the tag, where we use different materials and different production procedures to realize a tag. This is a quite nice and quite new development. We have on-metal tags, so metal boxes, especially in industrial use cases, are very difficult because metal is a natural shielding of any radio frequency. So here we need very special designs in the label to keep the tag working. So for HF, for example, we just need an additional ferrite layer on the back side. And on the UHF side, we have Sometimes we use the metal as part of the antenna, for example. Sometimes you have a spacer in between to get some distance to the metal. But there are technologies to make tags also work on metal boxes. For example, there are so many millions of those containers all over the world, and they all want to be tracked somehow. So there's a big fight of which technology they want to use. So also RFID is taking place in this challenge. We have the possibility for those stickers those tags with high security encryption. So if you're fearing that, I mean, anyone can access the memory with a smartphone and change it. So you need password protection. Password protection sometimes is not safe enough. So you start doing public keys and private keys, which you're sharing. You're combining it with certain URLs. Maybe you're even combining it with current date, time, some data like this. So you have wide range of possibilities to encrypt your tags, which is, for example, very necessary for high sensitive applications like in the medical industry or in the pharmaceutical industry. Let's go on. Tamper tags, they are very interesting. We distinguish between tamper-proof tags and tamper-evident tags. I was always talking about stickers, which you just apply on an object and then you can read it out by smartphone. But it's difficult or it's a problem if you can easily remove those stickers and just place it somewhere else. So we need a solution to provide this or prevent this. So what we have here, we have tamper-proof tags. So if you try to remove the sticker, you also rip off the antenna partly. So this whole thing does not work anymore. So more or less by ripping it off or by trying to removing it, you're destroying the whole tag. So it's not working anymore, so you have this issue solved. Another possibility for tamper-proof or tamper tags is this tamper-evident tags. Here, I don't know if you see it, but this is a round tags which have two seals. So there are small lines printed, small antenna lines printed behind this, and if you destroy them, so it's just like a sealing, which you know from a normal sticker, you can also electronically read out the current status, and if someone tried to repair it afterwards. So that's all which is stored electronically on a product, on a sealing, if this was broken or not. So the shape of this, maybe you already know, is coming from bottles, because especially very expensive wine bottles from France, they want to be protected from fraud. And fraud in this area is massively strange, because even there were some people trying to steal with a syringe the wine out of the bottle, so they do not destroy the sealing. And so we also had a solution where we had very fine structure on the top of the wine bottle. So if someone tried to put in the needle through this thing, you could detect the difference in capacity in the chip. So you could detect if someone tried to put out the wine from the bottle. Just a small use case. We have also very tiny tags. So this is also very difficult from design perspective to get those tags so small. So we have a diameter of 6 millimeter, for example, but still easy to read out by smartphone, for example. And last of this is the LED tag. So that's this one here. It should work once I switch it on. So also you can power an LED with your NFC field, which you create on your own. Could be quite interesting if you're like looking for a certain part which is in your warehouse, but there is no light, and you have a long-range reader, so you can just make the thing which you're looking for. So I'm looking for item number 315. You just make them light up. I don't know if anyone would need it, but it's just an idea. Okay, we have also the possibility to combine sensors with RFID. So we have the possibility to use external sensors. This, for example, is important for temperature sensing, because if you read out the temperature with the integrated temperature sensor in the chip heats up. So also the temperature sensor is getting or is giving back a wrong temperature. We have syringe tags. So this is in the field of capacitive status detect sensors. So here we can detect if there is still liquid in the syringe or if it's empty, and we can even meanwhile distinguish how much so the fill level, the current fill level of the syringe. So how much was applied to a patient. This is all possible to be read out. We can have wet check tags. So for example, there is a field, a structure here, and if there's a water drop or some humidity over this, there's also a capacitive change, which you can also then sense with the RFID tag. this is, for example, quite interesting. I mean, I'm living in Ingolstadt. Maybe you know it from Audi production. And all the people there talk all day long about Audi production. So they are looking in all doors if it's fully sealing from any water drops. And they are looking hours and hours every day in every car if there's one single water drop around. So you can save all this time if you just use a wet check tag around there. You just read it out shortly by passing by. Would be a solution for them. But they prefer having eyesight check. We have also here from conductive status detect, tamper evident tags on the right top side. Just an example, this was a product which was sold on the grocery. You could pass by in the grocery, read out the tag, and it told you these are the ingredients of the product. And then at the cashier, they broke the seal, and when you were at home and you read out the product, you were led to a different kind of URL, and they explained to you then that you now can participate in a competition or something, and you can win something. So there are many different possible solutions here. So just looking at the time to come to an end. So I hope I could give you a short introduction on what is possible with RFID, that we are a new company, a new brand here now also in this area, because this is also one of our target areas to expand our company to. I'm here now to be available for you if anyone is interested in. We provide standard products in lower quantities. Normally, if you want to buy RFID tags, they tell you, okay, how many of our 100K batches do you need? No, we can offer already 20,000 pieces as minimum order quantity, and for some standard products even lower. So if you want to start a product with a couple of thousand pieces, why not asking us for a tag? And we can customize it in a way that you can use it. Okay, thank you. I will not do that.
You can do it that way, but it's in front of you. So
Okay.
I think this will be
We
a
have
bit
to switch
nicer.
to Cesare then. We have to switch the microphone then to Cesare. We
Yeah,
have
you
to.
can do it if you want.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, it's a bit nicer when it's from the back,
Okay.
so you don't have cable dangling all over the place.
I don't need it. It's only
Oh,
one
you don't need
page.
it. Ah,
Okay.
Well,
Hi everybody, I'm Roberto Barbarito from Sorint Lab. I will start with one question. How did you imagine the future when you were a child? I was born in 1986. Often in the afternoon after the school, I watched an old TV show. The name of the show was Supercar. Do you know Supercar? Yes. The starring, as well as David Hasselhoff, was a car. Its name was Kit. That car, through some sensors, drove alone, spoke with the driver, identified the best path. I was really excited when I was a child, thinking that someday in the future, we also have such car. Now, the future has been around for a while. In addition to the great technology advances and researches in this sector, we can say that all the comforts we enjoy every day is also thanks to those companies that operate in our sector, who stay up to date to the products to be maintained, which operate infrastructures, who invent new products that will then become the market standard in the future years. I can proudly say that Sorint Lab is one of them. Sorint Lab has been offering IT consulting in the system integration, Agile, DevOps, CI/CD, cloud adoption, modern application development, application modernization, IT operation, and site reliability engineering sector since 1985. We are a globally IT company, leader in digital transformation, with over 1,000 colleagues and offices in Italy, Spain, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Poland, Cameroon, and United States of America. We try every day to transform ideas into results, to write stories with our customers, and we guide companies through a digital innovation path that responds to business needs thanks to our capabilities in software development, enterprise cloud architecture, data center management, and intelligent operation. We strongly believe that technology brings innovation and well-being. Our commitment to every company or institution, community, is to help decisively in making their business reliable through the choice of the best technology. We are also a software house, and today Cesare Pizzi, my colleague, will introduce to you a new way to do IT security with the IoT as a focus. We will present Sinwall. Please, Cesare. Aspetta, devo dare questo.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Cesare Pizzi. Okay, let's spend a couple of words about still on Sorint and what Sorint actually do in regards to IoT and in regards of IoT security. In regards of IoT, we do several things. We also have a specific business unit called StorintTech, which is, for example, helping everyone using IoT in collecting data and doing something like data analytics and machine learning. That sounds like buzzword, but they aren't. And we are actually doing these things on several critical infrastructures like airports or something like that. So we are actually using these technologies. And another thing from which I'm here today, it's security, specifically security, because I'm the lead of the open source security team in Sorint Lab. And another thing I want to say about Sorint is that sometimes it's missed, but when I say Sorint is committed to open source, because I'm the lead of one of this team, I would not say as probably 100% of the IT company says that. I mean, we are not just using open source, we are actually producing open source, we are developing open source software. Everything is available as open source license, not like, I don't know, oh, you can get this one and then pay for the full version, but we are actually delivering the software under complete open source licenses, like Sinwall, for example. You can find it on GitHub. Now we will go into some details on that. So you can use it. It's free. If you want to have consultancy, you can open an issue, and then I will probably get back to you, because this is something that is more or less done by me. But I will explain you what it does in a minute. I would like to spend a couple of additional words about, because this is not the only things we do as IoT security. We do a lot of things. Securing the development process, for example. To some extent, we are also doing hardware security. I would say, like, as a hobby, to dump flash and reverse engineering them, because my main actually role is reverse engineer, so I like to look into these kind of things until it's legal, at least, let's say. And so we are doing also this kind of security on, and also we are helping in securing the development process. So we are also providing this kind of help to the companies. But let's step to Synwall. This came out from an idea I had a couple of years ago. The tool itself has been presented also at the Black Hat conference. You probably know it in Las Vegas 2 years ago. And I started from some things I was thinking about IoT and several specific characteristics of IoT. So when we think about IoT devices, we are speaking about small devices with low power and lower power consumption. We usually speak also about low processing power, even if it's not true, to be honest, because the processing power right now is pretty high. But we are speaking about a lot of devices. Sometimes these devices are not really easy to manage because they are spread around the world and so on. So I tried to think about a solution which was securing them. Since most of the problems, let's say, from the security devices are coming from, let's say, remote problems or local one. The local one must be secured in different ways, but we also have solution for that. And the remote one are coming from networks, usually. And networks, it's sometimes done over TCP/IP, at least at some extent. Maybe not on the very last part, which is maybe 6FOX or LoRa or something like that. But at one point, TCP/IP came in. And what I imagine, it's a solution that is completely transparent to the upper layers. So we are working with the TCP/IP protocol and injecting, let's say, a kind of authentication in the TCP packet in a way that is completely transparent to all the upper layers. So you don't have to modify anything on your stacks and in your application, but it's just injecting this kind of authentication and allowing you to create clouds or enclaves, I call them, which are a set of devices that can speak with each other, isolating all the outer world from the TCP/IP connections. In a very simple way, you can do it maybe with IP tables or with a firewall if you want, yes. But it will be cumbersome to manage all the rules, incoming IP, and so on. This is a different way. This is a way where you just deploy this kind of passphrase on every single device you have, and you are just relying on that for securing the communication. So you don't have any kind of maintenance required on the device. The project, as I said, it's completely open source. It works also with UDP, for example. So it works with both protocol. Right now, it works for Linux system on every architecture. It has been built to be very, very low power consumption and using cryptographic algorithms which are made especially for RFID, so very lightweight. And if you want, you can have a look to the project on GitHub. It's complete. There are also some companion projects on that, because it's not just a matter of managing the firewall, but we are also providing all the environment to manage them, and for example, Ansible scripts and so on to deploy things and so on. You can have a look. You can open an issue if you have a question. You can also speak with me outside here, and that's all. So that's think more or less all what I have to say, and thank you for your attention.
because it's mainly a business-to-business industry, so it's inside products. But ST is one of the biggest semiconductors company in the world. We're around 48,000 employees worldwide, and 8,400 are in research and development, because that's a business where if you don't invest in research, it's a big problem. We have over 80 sales and marketing offices, and we have 200,000 customers globally. And last year revenues were around $13 billion. So here you can see where we're located. So myself, I'm located here in the south of Italy. That's a small center, but it's a research and development one in cooperation with the university there. Okay, so we have a lot of patents that we filed, and because this kind of business, if you don't invest in research, you're dead in a few years. Even if you never heard about ST, because as I mentioned, we produce the black chips that go inside consumer electronics products or industrial products or automotive products. So maybe some of the presentation that you saw before, maybe we're using some ST chips, maybe I didn't even, yeah. So we're in the driving, so we try we have a lot of products that go in both the thermal engines for the ECU, but also, especially now, for the electrification of vehicles. We have products that go inside the smart industry applications, like robotic arms and itself. So you find our products inside smart homes and smart cities applications, and in everyday things, like, for instance, here, this is smart speaker, but you have a lot of kind of products where you can find inside ST chips. As I was mentioning before, we have around more than 200,000 customers worldwide. So this is a pyramid of customers, because the top 10 that we have, so even if you didn't hear about ST, you probably heard about our top 10 customers. So you have companies like Apple, Huawei, Bosch, Intel, Mobileye, Continental, Samsung, Seagate, HP, Tesla. Then we have these globally managed accounts that are maybe medium enterprises, which we serve by ourselves. And then we have the distribution and mass market, where these are smaller companies that don't have a direct relationship with ST sales, but they go through distribution. Just to give you an idea, here are some products, commercial products, that you can use every day that are using ST solutions inside. So here is an Apple Watch, where you can find, for instance, a microcontroller from ST, the STM32, which, by the way, is the leading microcontroller worldwide. Then we have gyroscope and accelerometers used by ST. You can find, for instance, MEMS accelerometers and gyroscopes, and the pressure sensor inside Samsung phones. You find, for instance, ST products like the infrared camera that you have in the iPhone for the face identification. That's a product that is using infrared laser, and it's multi-beam, and it will detect your face, though this is based on ST hardware. And you can use it also for the autofocus of mobile phones, where you can detect the distance from objects using the time of flight technology that will essentially send a beam of light and then calculate the time it takes to get back to the reflecting object. You can find ST products, for instance, in fitness devices like the Fitbit Alta, which is using the Bluetooth Low Energy chip by ST, and also a microcontroller from ST, the STM32. And then there are also other sensors like accelerometers and gyroscopes. I don't know if any of you has a Tesla Model 3 around here? No one? Okay, there's a free one for you parked out there if you had said yes, but since nobody said yes, so it's still there. We have, for instance, we're also having products where we're investing a lot in silicon carbide technology that is able to provide a more efficient conversion of energy. So it will reduce the waste of energy, especially in the application like, in this case, it's used for the inverter, which is the device that will convert the voltage, the direct current from the battery to make it three-phase current so that you can spin the motor, the electric motor. And using this technology is very useful because it reduces waste of energy in the conversion. And we also have this kind of products for the charger stations that you can find around the cities, talking about smart cities. We're also active in the devices like for payment applications. Now, for instance, in January, we won the Innovation Awards at the CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, where we introduced the biometric system on card. So this is a regular dual interface card. So it's dual interface because it's based on the chip that you can put in the reader, but also on the near field communication. It has an antenna around it, which is built around. So this is normal stuff. But we added, as a new innovation, fingerprint reader. And the nice thing about this is that it's completely batteryless. So as Identity was shown before, that you can use the reader to power up the device. Here you can power up the reader, and you have also a microcontroller inside that is able to process the data and understand if that's your fingerprint or not. So you can replace the ID, instead of typing the PIN, you can use your fingerprint. Then from regular payments, we're also active for products, for instance, that are used for cryptocurrencies. So, okay, maybe now is not the best moment for cryptocurrencies, as you have seen that, for instance, Bitcoin has gone down, but this is a temporarily phase. Anyway, the idea is that ST is providing the chips inside the most used hardware wallets that you find around, like the Ledger or the Trezor. So here they use, for instance, a microcontroller, and they use also our secure element, which is the chip that is providing security against the possibility to extract the private key. Because with this kind of solutions, your ownership of the cryptocurrency is, you control it if you have the keys to it. So this, because the ledger is public, everyone can access. The only thing that is private, it is yours, is the key. And the key must be stored safely inside the secure element. And okay, just to conclude, and stick to the 10 minutes, I'll try to be short. So our vision is everywhere microelectronics can make a positive contribution to people's lives, ST is there. So that's why we try to sell products that are very broad and go into different categories. And that's it. So. Yeah, that was.
Somewhere around 3,000 people with main center in Zagreb and Split. A couple of years ago we opened a new R&D center in Osijek, and this year we also opened a center in Rijeka. So we are basically establishing our main bases in 4 biggest cities in Croatia. I will not talk much about the company because it's more or less known what we are doing. Majority of our products are telecom related, but in last, let's say 10 years, we are making a huge step ahead in different vertical solutions, to traffic solutions, smart cities, IoT field is basically the horizontal layer that is combining it all. I will try to, in these 10 minutes, I will try to represent the one project that we are involved in. It's Insula project. The main agenda behind that project, the goal that is driving is it is maximizing the impact of innovative energy approaches in EU islands. This is a 4 years project ending March next year, I think, yep. Involving more than 27 organizations in 10 different countries throughout Europe. Basic idea is decarbonization of the islands. We were talking about the ecology of last years. The fact that I didn't know before this is, okay, in Croatia we have many islands. We are bragging around that we are a nice country with loads of islands, people living there in special conditions, hard life and stuff. But more than 15 million of European citizens is inhabiting more than 2,400 EU islands. We're talking just about EU. And there are huge challenges there. Most of them are related to the energy. I grew up on the island myself, so I know what it's like when there is no energy available, when main energy cable that's coming from the mainland is disrupted, basically broken. Spent a couple of months in a stone age as a child. So these like 20, 30 years ago, these were challenges that couldn't be solved. Now we have technology, we have all the knowledge, all the tools we can use to try and get through over these obstacles. In this project, we have lighthouse islands and follower islands. As if you can compare, like Madeira, Portugal, Bornholm in Denmark, saying about, if I remember correctly, more than 200,000 inhabitants on Bornholm, and we have Unije, small island in Croatia. Compared to Bornholm, population is, let's say, one house in Bornholm that is on Unije. That's island that during the winter has maybe 10 to 15 inhabitants. So these three different islands were taken into consideration just to cover everything from really high density, high population density to completely almost uninhabited islands. So after the project is finished, we have the follower islands that are waiting for the results that will be replicated on these islands. Main characteristics, I could read this for next 10 minutes. Basically, you get the idea about that on different islands, there are different challenges. For example, in high population density island like Bornholm, the traffic is huge challenge how to remove fossil fuel cars and maybe replace the traffic channels with renewable energy powered vehicles and stuff. But for example on Unije, that is remote island in Adriatic Sea, the main challenge is, as I said before, when the power gets cut off, when there is too many during the basically, there's a huge difference between the high season in the summer and the winter. In the winter, you don't need that much electricity or water, whatever, but in the summer, you need 100, 200 times more of the resources. So resources management is one of the main challenges here in Unije. Freshwater scarcity, RS curtailment, tourism seasonality, lack of citizen participation. Participation in the energy system is, we'll talk about it later, it's the main challenge basically. We have been here, this is the third year now, we are constantly going there, talking to the people, trying to explain the benefits of getting them involved. And sometimes, I mean, okay, I grew up on the island, I can understand people living there, but sometimes I feel like the 15th century colonization of the new continents when I get there and indigenous people are throwing rocks at me. Basically, sometimes it's just like that. Every change is no good. That's their basic stand. What are the project goals? The project goals is creation of the smart island ecosystem. Talking about the island, we are now focusing on the island, real island in the middle of the sea, but the actual island can be any isolated area like the small village somewhere in the mountains that has only one power line connecting it to the real world and something like that. So the island is more virtual term than it really is. Energy independency maximization. You can presume this will lead to installation of photovoltaic panels and power plant. Facilitation of urban innovation and collaboration, trying to create the basics for developing some small local businesses and stuff. Islands digital transformation. Digital transformation is a buzzword that we've been talking about for last 5 to 10 years. So you all know what it is. Improve the quality of life. That's the main goal. Ensure the high degree of results applicability. So what is to be the main output of this project is to create a tool, investment planning tool that will be used for analysis of the conditions on any island within the European Union. So the parameterization will be done on different values, different stuff like number of people living there, number of people in the summer, impact of tourism, number of cars, and loads of different parameters will be taken into consideration. Then you just enter for one island, you enter the parameters, and it gives you the calculations if these that we're going to talk about technologies can be applied. Does it make any sense, for example, to build a photovoltaic power plant on that island or not, and stuff like that. So 4 years, 27 companies just to create one single tool. Sounds like waste of time, waste of money, waste of everything, but it's not like that. That was my first idea. What are we going to do for 4 years just to create one single tool? Maybe we can do a try again, maybe half a year we can create some just by guessing. Behind that, loads of small different projects were created. One of the projects I will show you later is that we created a system that could be used to control complete resource management of the house, village, town, county, city. So limits are pretty high. As usual, it's meant to be like a pilot level, grid level, island level, and then, as I said, we'll bring it up to the EU level by spreading on different islands. Many different things will be built and are already being built on the island. I have to admit that we have we are way behind schedule here because of the Croatian administration. One example is that we had to install the photovoltaic plant together with 3 or 4 containers with battery systems, that provided by one company that is partnering us. The land was there. It was everything is clear. The ownership was clear, but the situation that the land is divided into 2 parcels, and by different regulations, you are not allowed to. They needed to be like one parcel. So we spent 1 year, one whole year, waiting with installation until the Croatian administration joined these 2 parcels, and we got the papers that we are clear. So basically, whenever you're doing something like this, you can have the great idea, brilliant people working there, everything going smooth, but once you touch the administration, that's it, it breaks. So I'll try to make it fast. So I'm not reading this all to you, just what the Ericsson is doing in this project, Ericsson Nikola Tesla. The main idea, the main goal of our involvement here is to design, integrate, and design and implementation integration of central platform. This is our, I'd say, flagship in this area, Ericsson Nikola Tesla IoT platform. Integration of different sensors, different measurement units, different smart meters, whatever we can integrate and gather as much data as we can for these 4 years so we can do the calculations to generate some output of it. Of course, try to represent all these technologies, try to present this to the local population and try to get them involved, because no data is valid if it doesn't have a living people behind it. We could easily fake it and try to use some random generator to generate the data, but if you gather the data of the people living there, how they use energy, how they use resources, water, whatever, then you have something really valuable. This is just an example of some public, this is the public portal available, where you can see the consumption of the, and production is yellow, consumption is the red. This is only from the couple of houses that is now integrated. In this you can see them on the map. This is the island of Unije here. We also have some on the Tres. I have one system installed, the island of Šolta, in my house, trying to test it as much as we can. Also, this is the water supply on Unije in a couple of local wells. Meteo data is trivial, showing different charts like the temperature, relative humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, rain falls. This is clear 0 now, and this is for the public. But this is one thing like I have in my house. We tried, change different layouts, added different, so you can see the variety of sensors here, like water leak, smoke detector, smart cable, water pump. You get the general data straight in front of it. Smart meter 1 and 2, battery systems, whatever you can think of, it can be integrated. We are not producing sensors, we are using 3PP sensors and integrated in our system. So I will not go throughout the whole what any of these buttons do, just to give you a general impression of it. Here you have a main diagram showing the last 24 hours the total energy consumed. You have the numbers, so you can divide it and check every single power plug in the wall. You can control it. It's really, really useful. So basically what we're doing, we are giving this to the local people. You have it installed in your houses. You have full control of it. But in the exchange, we gather your data, anonymized, but we have you on the map, we know where you are. Just to show you the one general situation. For example, we have 5 people in the desert. They're 3 days away from the first water source, and they have 1 gallon of water. You need to have the system to rationalize that water, otherwise 3rd day they're all dead. So same stuff with the energy and water resources on the island. It gets cut off. You have through the system, you know how many people are there. You know, you have the system that has learned their habits, their needs. So the system can actually, using some machine learning algorithms, predict how much of the electrical power you have left in those battery banks. You see the weather, what is going to be, how much sun there's going to be. So you can easily, we divide it into 3 different importance layers of the devices. So first, if the users get a message, okay, there's not enough power, please use it rationally. If they don't follow that lead, say orders, then the system can cut off the first line, then cut off the second line, trying to conserve the necessary amount of electricity as long as possible. So the last line would be to cut off the fridges. Of course, during the summer, if you cut off the power, everything melts down within a couple of hours. So the food gets wasted completely. So there's a general idea about using the system to monitor, to also to get the data from local usage, how the resources are used. I'm deliberately using the word resources because it's not only electricity, it's electricity and the water. And who knows what will come next as a resource in maybe 10 years. maybe food. Maybe we can quantify the usage of food through the system like this. Anything can be done. So the main idea is giving something to the people and getting something back to them. I can show you this is just the major, one example. You have, this is what people really get. This is one real house on Unije. We have all this installed in the house. We have about 20 users there. So far, 5 or 6 of them are on the, on the bright side. They're happy to use it. They're using it really, talking to us, trying to communicate everything that's bothering them. They have this analytics as well. This is just a small part of the analytics tool. They can measure their consumption, what they're producing. They set some threshold. They see whether they're above it or not. They have the budget. Everything can be configured. Really useful tool. So, but it's not the place and time to talk about it. This is just another example about this. So we also have in one house that one really beautiful example. It has own photovoltaic panels on top. It's connected to the grid. We have prosumer devices that measures both channels, how much electric power is used from the photovoltaic, how much is used from the grid, comparing costs and everything. So the owner is spending like 2 hours daily just watching how much did I save, what am I using now, trying to optimize. And within 1 year, he's completely changed his habits of how he's using electrical appliances. So about decarbonization, going back to the initial agenda on the green energy, it's not having having more windmills and photovoltaic that will save the earth. You all know when you consider production of it, digging the minerals, destroying the earth, whatever, eco level is not much better than the fossil fuels powered plants. But having tools like this help people rationalize the use of the energy. So this is how we can make an impact. Learning the habits, making them optimal, and trying to use resources when they're available, when they're cheaper to produce, and optimizing the usage and our behaviors. Okay. Thank you very much for the attention.
But slide in the English, and do you have any question, you can ask me in the Finnish. Dobar dan, moje ime je Jaka Ivanković i prezentirat ću vam tvrtku Odašiljače i veze i našu najnoviju platformu. Odašiljači i veze je tvrtka u državnom vlasništvu. 2002. godine odvojila se od HTV-a i postaje samostalna tvrtka. Ove godine obilježena je 96. godina od puštanja u rad prve radijske postaje Radio Zagreb. 1956. godine pušten je u rad prvi televizijski odašiljač u ovome dijelu Europe. Danas brojimo više od 300 zaposlenika, od kojih je više od 50% visoko obrazovanih. Iz vlastitog nadzornog operativnog centra smještenog u Zagrebu neprestano obavljamo nadzor radijskih programa, televizijskih programa, multimedijskog sadržaja. Također nadziremo telekomunikacijske kapacitete. Imamo infrastrukturu što uključuje opremu i procese za odašiljanje signala. Osim glavnog NOC-a u Zagrebu, imamo i 5 regionalnih centara smješteni u Osijeku, Rijeci, Zadru, Splitu i Dubrovniku, te preko 350 odašiljačkih objekata sa oko 30 glavnih objekata na najvišim kotama u Republici Hrvatskoj. Djelatnosti i usluge koje obavljamo i nudimo u OIV-u su odašiljanje radijskih televizijskih programa, imamo sustav mikrovalnih veza preko cijelog teritorija Republike Hrvatske, sustav optičkih veza, raspolažemo vlastitom elektroničkom infrastrukturom, multimedijski sadržaj. U suradnji sa Fakultetom elektrotehnike, strojarstva i brodogradnje razvili smo integrirani sustav za zaštitu, integrirani sustav, protupožarni sustav video nadzora za rano otkrivanje i dojavu požara. Posjedujemo profesionalnu mobilnu radijsku mrežu Connect, NP-BBI programe. Jedna od najnovijih usluga je SpliTech IoT platforma. SpliTech IoT platforma je naša višenamjenska platforma za inovativna rješenja internet povezanih stvari. Povezujemo IoT senzorske uređaje sa aplikacijama i korisnicima. Primjene unutar SpliTech IoT platforme su neograničene. Ono što najzastupljenije su u pametnim gradovima, otocima, poljoprivredi i turizmu. Ono što mi nudimo je zapravo mrežno povezivanje preko LoRaWAN tehnologije. LoRa mrežom povezujemo IoT senzorske uređaje sa aplikacijama. Naziv LoRaWAN dolazi od long range, što znači velika udaljenost, a pripada low power tehnologijama za bežičnu komunikaciju. Odnosno, to je tehnologija koja omogućuje komunikaciju na velikim udaljenostima uz malu potrošnju energije. Danas u svijetu postoji više od 220 milijuna IoT senzorskih uređaja koji komuniciraju na LoRa mreži. Kao što sam već ranije spomenula, primjene unutar SpliTech IoT platforme su neograničene. Na slajdu možete vidjeti neke od IoT senzora koje smo mi realizirali kroz naše projekte, tako na primjer meteostanica, parking senzor, GPS tracker, senzor za detekciju otvorenih vrata, popunjenost kontejnera spremnika, kvalitetu zraka, senzor pokreta i mnogi drugi. Sad ću vam kroz primjere pokazati neki od naših realiziranih projekata da vidite čime se mi isključivo bavimo. Jedan od uspješno realiziranih pilot projekata je grad Karlovac. Cilj ovoga projekta bio je digitalizacija i umreživanje poduzeća koji su u vlasništvu grada. Unutar grada postavljeni su senzori u bolnicu, e-doktori, parking senzori, senzori u muzejima za detekciju pokreta, povećanje temperature, senzor kvalitete zraka, senzor za CO2 postavljen u školama. Svi podaci teku kroz LoRaWAN mrežu, odnosno kroz našu SpliTech IoT platformu i dolaze na korisničke aplikacije. Pojedina tvrtka ima uvid u podatke vlastitih senzora, odnosno samo djelatnosti kojima se ona bavi, dok grad Karlovac ima uvid u sve prikupljene podatke. Pa tako možete ovdje vidjeti, na primjer, senzor za CO2, kako se povećava u vrijeme trajanja školskih sati, znači prostorija je puna, čak ide iznad dopuštene razine. Međutim, nakon završetka nastave i u noćnim satima ona se spušta na minimalnu razinu. Također imate prikaz senzora u muzeju, e-doktori za otkucaje srca, položaj tijela i druge. Jedan od zanimljivijih projekata, pilot projekt pametne bove je jedan od zanimljivijih projekata. Mnogi ribari danas imaju problema sa nestankom mreže. Bilo da je to zbog vremenskih nepogoda, zbog krađe ili nečega drugoga. Ideja ovoga projekta da ribarima omogućimo da u svakome trenutku mogu znati gdje se njihova mreža nalazi. S ovim bi istaknuli važnost SpliTech IoT platforme. je zbog toga što mreža pokriva i područja u kojima je signal teško dostupan. Meteo stanica, još jedan jako dobar primjer pokrivenosti korištenja SpliTech IoT platforme i senzorskih uređaja. Na najvećem vrhu Hrvatske postavljena je meteo stanica koja kontinuirano šalje podatke o uvjetima koji vladaju na Dinari. Na slici možete vidjeti izgled meteo stanice u normalnim i u ekstremnim uvjetima. U oba slučaja podaci dolaze na mrežu, znači nema nikakvih smetnji. Naša mreža omogućuje nesmetan dolazak informacija. Također, kroz aplikaciju možete vidjeti uvjete koji trenutno vladaju na samoj Dinari. I znači, kroz ovu kratku prezentaciju ukratko sam vam predstavila našu tvrtku. Naravno, tu postoje razni drugi projekti, uspješno je realizirani, ali za bilo kakva pitanja i dodatno još možete me pitati nakon ručka i ostalog. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Slaven Damjanovic and I'm the CEO of the Glamos. We are the company which works on making IoT happen, which means that we are working on different solutions, different products to allow users and then customers the best experience of using IoT. One of the technologies and the most used we put in our products is LoRaWAN. So as you heard before, LoRaWAN is the long range and the low battery technology which allows you to transfer data on long distances with small energy consumption. So what is the problem with LoRaWAN and some other wireless networks is that you don't know is there some wireless network and how good signal quality is. And the problem is the eAgro solution you saw on the previous presentation is our product. So it is a system for monitoring agriculture fields, and that are the meteo stations that can be used anywhere. So one of the problems was when we went to 1 year to install our meteo stations, we didn't know is there some signal, how good signal is, how many gateways can we reach, and how good signal quality will be during the working period. So we needed a tool which will allow us to test that network to understand what can we get. All these technologies have some benefits, but in terms of transferring a small amount of data on long distances, LoRaWAN is by far the best. And the popularity of LoRaWAN and IoT came in the last 2 years by integrating some crypto things. So regular people in the world finally saw some benefit, and they started deploying some LoRaWAN networks around the world because they could earn some crypto thing. The problem is, as I said, you don't know, you don't have information, is there some network, how good network is, how good signal is. The problem for network operator is that they cannot offer good service to end customers because they don't know what are they offering. Simulation programs are not good enough, and based on that they are losing a huge amount of money because they need to send technical guys to the field to test, to see what's going on. Then in most cases it is because of bad coverage. So there is one missing puzzle in that big story, and that is one tool which can give you information how to improve your network, and that tool which will open the treasure bag is our device. So it is a solution. It is the most advanced device on the market, so there is nothing, there is no other device on the market you can find for LoRaWAN testing with so many features. Some of them are to set up any possible LoRaWAN parameter for your testings, from spreading factor, from transmit power. There are different modes of working for transmitting one message or multiple messages, to do coverage mapping and many more. But our product is not just our device, it's connected with our application, which allows you to store all data, to analyze all data, and to get the best results. So numbers are nothing, but our analytics tools can give end users possibility to understand why is something the way it is. So we have an analytics tool for testing antennas, for example. So you can go in some location where you want to install your gateway or your sensor. You can attach this antenna, then the bigger antenna or smaller antenna, send messages from that location, and you can get report which will tell you, okay, this antenna is the best or not. Or for example, you want to install sensor indoor. You don't know is signal better in this corner or this corner. You can go on these two corners, send messages, and get report which corner is better and why it is better. Only competition is Adeunis, and our device is much better. It has many more features. You can you don't need to reprogram our device to set up some parameters, but you can do everything through this menu and through the screen. And in IoT, there are many possible solutions, which opens also opportunity for us. We are working currently on some new features which will allow network integrators, but also these use case integrators to understand their network, to understand their use cases. And one of the new things that we are releasing in near time is the indoor mapping tool, which will allow anyone to test their network inside of their buildings, to draw their floor plans, and to get heat map of your building. So anyone who wants to understand how some wall is affecting signal quality, how some building is affecting, how some material of the building is affecting it, it's a great tool to understand how really LoRa and how wireless networks are working in real conditions. So this is in short, and if you have some questions, please come later. Thank you.
Thank you all for this presentation session. You can join us for lunch.